Hey everybody, welcome to Ministry in a Minute. Dr. Greco here. Listen, we are going to discuss a very important concept over the next several weeks. We're going to use lots of scriptures to do it. And the idea is that we are called to be disciples who make disciples. And this idea of disciples who make disciples is deeply embedded in the scriptures. It's really all over in terms of how Jesus tried to tell us to organize the church and how the early church in the book of Acts was organized. And yet, I think sometimes rather than using the model of interpersonal ministry where we are built up through relationships with mature Christians and we build up new Christians through our relationship with them, always someone before us and always someone behind us in our spiritual hierarchy, rather than that, we fall into a model of consumerism. I go to a church because I like the style and it blesses me. And there's a lot of me in that sentence. I would argue that the Great Commission, the scripture that defines the very purpose of the church, would speak against that kind of consumerism. Matthew 28, most of you know Matthew 28, 19 and 20. It's the Great Commission. It's the mission statement for the church. It begins with, go and make disciples. Now, who is Jesus talking to? Now, obviously, he was talking to the 12 that were there with him, but there was more than the 12. He pulled the 12 aside, but there were people following him. And he knew his purpose, as we see in John 17 in his great high priestly prayers, that those 12 would share his mandates with the people. And so really this mission for the whole church is for us. We are called to be people who go and make disciples. The church should be built up of people who are disciples, who were discipled by someone and are discipling someone, disciples who make disciples. It's the design for the kingdom. We'll see you tomorrow for another Ministry in a Minute.